Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And as we are outside, that means one thing: yes, lawn mowing season is in full bloom. And today we not take a look at a robot lawnmower, we take a look at the robot lawnmower, or at least in my book, because we take a closer look at the Yarbo Lawn Mower Pro. And that's a real beast. And not only one beast, if we are precise, because this is a pretty cool modular system, because you have a core unit that is just an intelligent little robot that can tow stuff up to more than 1 ton. I will make an insight what's the maximal load you can tow with it, but it's a lot. It's more than a ton. Then you have different attachments for the front. You have the lawn mowing thing that you will see in that video, and also a trim module you can additionally attach on the robot at the back, so you can mow and trim at the same time. And you can change the lawn mowing module to a snow blower, for example, or a leaf blower. So you have a really modular system. But of course, those of you who know the system or Yarbo will also know this comes at a hefty price tag. So the system we're looking at today is somewhere around 8,000 euros. Dollars. I think it's the same ballpark. So this is not a cheap one. This is not really something aiming at people that have a small garden and just looking for a nice robot that can handle any obstacle. This is something more serious, but we are here to find out if that price tag is completely out the window, or is it even reasonable for what you get with that. So therefore, let's just dive deeper and take a look what you get in the box and how you assemble that Yarbo.
And those are the boxes. And since we didn't want to do the first real test in the front yard, but in an environment where the mower would face an actual challenge, we figured we would at least check the packages for completeness at the office and get a first impression of the setup. And oh boy, these are a lot of massive packages. The core unit alone weighs in at 61 kilograms without the battery, and the battery adds another 5 kilos on top, so we are speaking about 66 kilograms of mowing power here. So that's not exactly something you want to carry around a lot, so we figured we would make it drivable as early as possible to cover every single meter on its own wheels. And to our delight, that actually worked. The core unit can be manually controlled without the data center, so we only had to lift it in and out of the car once, and everything else could just drive itself. But data center is actually the perfect segue, because it has one quirk that tends to catch quite a few customers off guard. The data center uses PoE for its network connection and power supply. So PoE stands for Power over Ethernet, meaning you only need to run a single cable to the data center, and that's it. So network and power in one. But that technology isn't all that common in residential space, and Yarbo apparently knows that, because they included a power injector in the box that adds the necessary power to your regular Ethernet cable. So problem solved. But enough about the data center, let's go to the fun part. First up, we're going to manually set up the boundaries of our mowing zone. That's as straightforward as you would expect it these days. Multiple zones, connect them with paths, the usual stuff, nothing groundbreaking so far. But before we start mowing, we need the right blade setup. We're swapping out the default mulching blade discs for the straight blades, because we're dealing with some serious wild grass growth here. This is not a golf course, hey? Either way, you're working with an impressive 500mm cutting width, which means fewer passes back and forth across the lawn, and when it comes to cutting height, you can go down to 2 centimeters, which I wouldn't recommend in most cases, but hey, the option is there and you do you. And even swapping out the different modules is super easy and handled through a really well designed mechanism that couldn't be easier. The only thing you need to disconnect and reconnect is a single cable, which feels also very premium, by the way, and everything else is just pretty self-explanatory and surprisingly straightforward, even given the weight of that thing.
And another thing that completely surprised me was that I saw that first, when I want to attach the mower attachment, I need a second person, otherwise I can't lock that whole mechanism, because I'm not used that the mower is that heavy. So you can use that heavy mower just as counterweight, so you can just really push that lever to against the mower and nothing will move, and you safely unlocked the Lawn Mower Pro attachment on the core module. So yeah, You just need some time to get used to all of this, and then you have to think outside of your usual robot lawnmower bot. This is more like a tractor or a tank, or I don't know. It surprises me every minute more and more.
So yeah, then let's start the mowing action. And remember when I said the zone setup was pretty basic? The options you get for the actual mowing run are anything but. You can set your mowing pattern however you like, adjust the path offset, configure overlaps, root angle, turn angle, and that's just scratching the surface. The amount of control you have here is generally impressive. That said, I did run into a small issue pretty quickly because the obstacle detection was a little bit too sensitive. Out of the box, it's set to moderate bypass, which meant the mower was steering around taller grass, turfs, and even small daisies. Fortunately, the app has these really clear visual diagrams that make it obvious which mode you actually need, and for this kind of terrain, gentle contact was clearly the right call. And once I switched that, the real fun began. And yeah, I just let the footage do the talking here, because honestly, no amount of description is going to do it justice. So let's just enjoy some mowing action. And as we are working with a generally challenging and uneven terrain here, but no real slopes to speak of and nowhere near the kind of surface area this thing is actually built for. That said, Yarbo claims it covers up to 24,000 square meters per week, running up to 7 mowing cycles a day with 120 minutes of runtime per charge, and an auto recharge that gets it from 20 to 80% in just 90 minutes. And it's the reality, even with that contactless charging technology. It's insane.
Ready to charge.
And I have to admit, this is really one of the best mowing experiences we had so far, because for the first time run, not a single robot in the past we had made such a good job in getting everything evenly mowed, because you always had this 1-2 fields, little fields of straws that were sticking out, and then yeah, I mean, it's a robot. It's intended to let it run more and more times. So I'm not that picky if he forgets one patch or something like that. But it's not the case here. He really mowed everything and evenly. Didn't matter if there was thicker grass. I don't know how he somehow recognized that there is thicker grass and he needs to go slower over it and force and back, and just went over it and mowed everything to the desired height. So this is some really impressive performance. And also, as I already said, this is not a golf course or something like that. This is really bumpy terrain, and especially here you can see very well how well he mowed, because here you see the straws, the normal height, and you see here we have an evenly cut field, and that's really well done. I mean, the setting was way too low, but that was on purpose. I just wanted to mow it really into the ground, and I'm really happy with that result. So yeah, first verdict about the Lawn Mower Pro from Yarbo is really positive. So there's not really a negative thing to say about the mowing performances so far. But now I want to push the limits a little bit, even further as it is recommended, because it isn't built for completely wild gardens where you have some meter or half-meter high grass or something like that. But exactly that I found around the corner. Oh, fuck, so many insects here. I found a nice tall strip of grass behind that building here, and I would say we just drive into it and see what's happening. And yeah, just wish me luck that I'm not trashing that unit right now, but let's do it. So yeah, that's the patch I just want to get rid of with the Lawn Mower Pro. And yes, I know it's not intended for that, but I'd have to try it out. And that's the cool thing, you can just use it as a manual mower just with the controller. This is also included in the package, so don't worry. And here you can then just change, or we already started the blades, but you can also turn on the front lights, the side lights, and so on. So let's do this, let's try it out. So let's just witness the raw power of the Yarbo and its dual 300 watt motors with up to 2500 watt peak power that doesn't care at all about the terrain, or at least it seems so. Also wet grass, thick grass, long grass, completely wild growth,
handled. 35-degree slopes, vertical obstacles up to 5 centimeters, no problem. It's just another day at the office for the Yarbo.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is insane performance what we have seen here. You saw it, how tall that whole segment, that whole place, that whole patch was. That's insane. I mean, look at this. It's a one-time run. I just went whoop, whoop, whoop. You've seen it. Oh my God, I need to show it to you closer. Let me show you. This is insane. Camera, turn around. This is insane. This whole tall patch is just gone. This is really some pro level stuff here, man. Wow. And when I'm looking around, maybe I found a new project there. This is some insane stuff. Just to get more sense of scale how high this is. So this is way above 1 meter. So I don't want to get the measure tape, but this is really high. So wow. This is some insane stuff here. I'm not sure which bit I will use. Maybe you already heard it. I'm freaking impressed. You saw how high this is, or let me get that camera and I'll show you in detail. You are insane, brother. Just look at this. I think I already told you, this is, yeah, more than 1 meter high. And look at that mowing experience. I mean, there I don't need to go into detail. I think you see it. You see where I mowed here. Unbelievable. I mean, of course, this thing is not intended for something like that, so they don't recommend to do it. But as you can see, this was more like a proof of concept, and yeah, people are always interested in, yeah, can you do something like that with that thing? Yes, but don't be surprised if the company says afterwards, if you if you trash it, it's on you probably, because this isn't built for that. But as you can see, it handles it with ease. Insane. Yeah, so first verdict about the Yarbo Lawn Mower Pro. That's a real pro. And I'm blown away, honestly, by this thing. But one step at a time. Let's start at the beginning. You saw probably in that video that the setup is quite complicated and took us some time. And let's be real, we never had a mower on this channel where the setup was that complicated. And it feels like there's a lot of information out there because they have their own wiki for each module and for each core and so on. But it's very surface level, and that they use power over Ethernet is quite cool and modern, and I think for professional use cases. So in my world, or my experience is most of the time this is hotels or companies, middle-sized companies and even bigger companies have power over Ethernet deployed at this point. For private users, haven't seen it so often, but let's be real, the price point tends to some professional users and not just your home garden tool users. You know what I mean. So this took us not the used, I don't know, half an hour, or maybe you saw some mowers on this channel where they were literally just unbox it, put it on the green and let them go and run wild and free, and they will do their job and mow your lawn, and it's done. This, on the other hand, I don't even want to say how many hours, but it was long, and it was the longest ever for a lawnmower. But at the same time, we never had such a good lawnmower on this channel. So once this thing is up and running, forget it. That's the best one. If money is no problem, get that even for your 200 square meter. It won't get better than this. Amazing. But yeah, let's rewind. First impression, also not that impressive because it's also quite silent. I was surprised because I heard and I read on message boards that this thing is quite loud. The opposite is the case. We had some mowers on this channel, even also with some traditional blades, not the razor blade technique, and with some high power output, and they were all louder than this. So the noise it makes while it's moving around is louder than the spinning blades. And at the beginning we even thought, is it broken? Is it working? Probably, but believe me, it is working. And also, maybe you saw mowers that move faster. Here, you think so, not that impressed about the movement speed, but there's some serious power behind that movement, because it is, you heard already, it is freaking heavy, that thing. And that's a good thing as soon as it stands where it belongs, because the whole pressure gets translated so well in the garden. Because if you go manual mode, there is no obstacle this thing can't come over. So this is insane. You have to really be careful, especially in manual mode, because if you just drive backwards in a bush or anything, I don't know, something fragile, you will go straight through it, because there is no warning when you are in manual mode. You will just mow it over, or you will just drive it over. Of course, at the front, when you want to, for example, I drive into the tree, it recognizes, it tells you collision detected, and it won't go further. But in the other direction, you can go through the tree if it's a small tree, but bushes or stuff like that, that's gone if you go backwards. And then you feel especially the whole power that gets transferred over those wheels on the ground. It's insane. This thing can climb anything, I guess. I mean, sadly, we don't have really a decline here on the property, but I can imagine it because I've seen it, how it navigates that whole terrain, and this is insane, really insane. But at the same time, it's not like a hammer for something fragile. No, the whole mowing results is pretty perfect. So even I would say too good for that whole property here. And for a first run, I said it already, was the best first run of a mower I ever saw. I wouldn't have expected it from that thing, because I thought, okay, that's a professional thing, and in a professional field you just let it mow a week and yeah, it will get the job done. Like all those robot mowers most of the time work just over time. One run didn't catch everything, I just go a second time in an hour or next day, whatever, no effort. But this thing, this was perfect the first time. I mean, you need to configure it right so that it matches your property, because at the beginning I had some troubles. The obstacle detection was too sensitive, so he even navigated around some I don't know the English word, but those nice little white flowers that grow everywhere. He navigated around them. I mean, you see that thing and you think about tank, but this is more sensitive than any other mower we saw so far. And at the same time has the most power we've seen so far. And to bring it to an end, of course, it's the most expensive also we saw so far. So for us, this thing is in a whole other level of its own, or at least we had no contact with anything in that class. So for us, this is now the pinnacle of robot lawn mowing. And yeah, get one. If money doesn't matter, this is the only downside for me for this thing. It's expensive, so I'm blown away. And if you are ready to be blown away even more, check out the links in the description. There you find links to that bad boy, and probably also can check out the other modules of that thing, because as I mentioned in the intro, you can get also a snowblower for that and a leaf blower and the trim module. I want to be honest, during the setup process I was really skeptical, so oh my god, where is this heading? So I hope this thing delivers once it is running, but boy, it delivers. But yeah, check out the description below. If you have more questions, drop us a comment, like the video if you like the video, and follow the channel if you want to see more stuff like that. And don't forget to hit the bell button so we can see each other next time. And so long, I wish you perfectly beautiful mowed lawns and properties, whatever. Bye bye.